Hey comic fans, this is John, host of Video Games and the World. Today's comic book review is Flashpoint. If you guys have seen the movie Justice League, The Flashpoint Paradox, and not read this awesome comic, read it, because it's gonna blow you away. Flashpoint is a comic book series that becomes the opening doors of DC's The New 52, and to me, it's one of the darkest stories ever told in the DC universe. Of course, there are a lot of people who love New 52, and others hated it. But hey, to each his or her own, right? Now, this is something that I remember of the New 52 because now the New 52 is over and we got DC Rebirth since, well, last year or 2 years ago. Flashpoint is a graphic novel written by Jeff Johns and penciled by Andy Kubert. The Flashpoint story details an altered DC universe in which only Barry Allen, Kid Flash, and Booster Gold seem to be aware of significant differences between the regular timeline and the altered one, including Cyborg's place as the world's quintessential hero, Superman's detention by the government, and a Thomas Wayne version of Batman who spends his days running casinos. We all know that DC Comics has many alternate timelines and universes. About alternate timelines, I remember the Justice League cartoon series where the superheroes end up in a different timeline, where the Nazis had won World War II because of Vandal Savage, and also an alternate universe where the Justice League, called the Justice Lords, have taken control of the universe of the world and they rule the world with an iron fist. And also about alternate universes in comics and animated shows, the Justice League could have different actions. Okay, so right now it's time to start the review. Enjoy. Everyone at one point wants to return to the past and change everything. And Barry Allen has the capacity to do so. Why? For he is a hero called the Flash, the fastest man alive. When he was a child, his mother was brutally murdered and his father went to jail for it. By the time he grew up, he became an analyst for the police department at Central City, and then lightning struck his lab and turned him into the fastest man alive. He fights crime and protects the innocent from the forces of evil as well, and he is also a member of the Justice League, the strongest superheroes the world has ever known. But then Barry Allen goes back in time to save his mom. But going back in time to change the past can have severe consequences. Ripples of distortion has altered reality and created this brave new world called Flashpoint. In this world, Captain Cold is known as Citizen Cold, and he is the hero of Central City. Barry Allen's mother Nora is alive and well, and his father died of a heart attack 3 years ago instead of dying in prison. In this world, the Justice League does not exist. No one has ever heard of Superman. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are at war with one another, causing Europe's destruction and leading also into World War III. It is also a world where no human has ever wielded the Green Lantern's light, where Cyborg is a quintessential hero, and where Batman has as much blood on his hands as his enemies do. Powerless and alone, Barry Allen remembers reality as it once was. He turns to the only person that can help him get his powers back, Batman. And so, he must also join forces with the warped versions of the men and women he once fought alongside with, and set everything back to rights. It will take time, but time is the one thing that Barry Allen does not have. Because whether he succeeds or fails, the world will never be the same. Andy Kubert did an amazing job in penciling and designing of the superheroes of this twisted and darkened DC universe, where some heroes are hated by the populace and some villains are actually good guys. Andy Kubert is known for his notable works in Batman and Son, Marvel 1602, Origin, and so on. The redesigning of the DC superheroes which are seen in New 52 are pretty awesome. Of course, New 52 is a reboot and they cannot have the same suits all the time. As for Jeff Johns, he is the writer of the story of Flashpoint. The way he wrote this story was really genius, and it was awesome to see such a dark storyline. And now he's the CEO of DC Comics, and he does a pretty good job at what he does. And he also worked on Justice League Unlimited, Smallville, Robot Chicken, Arrow, The Flash, and tons of other DC related type of shows and other materials as well. And also, I really like the job he did with Simon Bass, who is the first Arabic Green Lantern of the Corps. When I first read this and saw the movie, I never thought it would be this violent. Well, you have to expect a lot of violence in dark stories like Flashpoint. Now, some things about the movie I like, while some things about the comic I like better, but in my honest opinion, the comic book is more superior because it's not just about the Flash, because the Flashpoints have various other storylines about Batman, Reverse Flash, and tons of other expanded storylines of the Flashpoint universe. And also, Flashpoint leads to what was the New 52. Of course, there are many superheroes that have joined on the side of Wonder Woman, mostly female, of course. Because, of course, we all know that Wonder Woman and the Amazons do not permit men in their ranks. However, Aquaman, he doesn't join any surface dweller, or as he calls them. Also, in this one, Shazam, or Captain Marvel, as he was once called, he is called Captain Thunder in the movie. But yet they still say Shazam when they use his powers. All I gotta say that for a comic that ends the classic universe of DC Comics, this was really dark, epic, and awesome. Also, you can also watch K-Wing's story on the Flashpoint Batman, which is a really phenomenal way of narrating the story of Thomas Wayne as the Batman. So, finally, to conclude this is one of the best DC storylines I have ever read since the death of Superman, Nightfall, Green Arrow Year 1, Batman Year 1, Dark Knight Returns, Earth 2, and so many other great stories. Awesome drawings, dialogue, and what a great storyline. My final score for Flashpoint is an A+. That is all, comic book fans. So follow me on Facebook and on Twitter, and also because the adpocalypse has affected so many users, including myself with the income, support me on Patreon. That is all for today. This is John, host of Video Games in the World. Have a good one. Bye-bye.